welcome to the story of Here We Are with James Barmore. Episode 2, I hope I said your last name right. He's on the camera looking like, what's his name? Michael B. Jordan from Creed. It's a compliment.
Right.
It's a compliment. I was like, you don't look like Michael B. Jordan from Creed up in here. How's it going, James? How are you?
It's been a very long week, friend, but we are here and we're ready to talk about the story of part 2.
Yes, we are. Petra, how are you doing today?
I'm precious as always.
That's good. Well, we've learned so much about you inside of that first episode where we talked about your younger years and where you came from. Unfortunately, my voice was not able to be heard. So now that it is, we expect them numbers to skyrocket, okay? And though we were able to hear you sing last time, we might have to get another snippet on today. I mean, we
might have to get a part 2.
Part 2. That's all I'm saying.
I'm ready. Let's get it.
All right. So here we are. Let's talk about your younger years, the junior years when you were, I don't know, like a preteen. What were those years like in comparison to dealing with music and how life was?
So last episode we were definitely talking about like support, right? So what that looked like for me was that I was always heavily embedded in arts, creativity. I told you guys about my origin story in relation to my revelation of being able to sing in elementary school. And we touched on different like aspects of what that looked like in middle school with band and choir. But going into my preteen years, that was definitely more of the time of I'll say isolation, and where I really figured out I was an introvert, whether that be by condition or mechanism that is subjective. We'll talk about that. But at the core of it, I feel like music was something that was specifically my own because my parents and majority of my family, they love sports. We watch wrestling growing up. Okay, woo-woo. Shout out to the WWF, shout out to the WWE, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're culture, you know what I mean? Like, I love it a lot. I know a little something. But that was all them, you know what I mean? Like, that wasn't my favorite pastime. My thing was, again, being like groomed in the church. Like, let me go to Barmore, so let me go to praise team, practice, like where I can, do something that I really like to do. Even during football season, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause all of my little brothers started in Pop Warner, so they started in, junior football, and then eventually, played with, the regular kids, and as they got older and older and older, sports was just the thing, and I would have to find little sparks of hope that would keep me like sane, because I don't want to be sitting there on the goddamn practice field watching you practice for I don't know how many damn hours out of the goddamn week. Like,
now let me ask you something. I know my husband's a football fan, and on Sunday we go to church, but on Sunday there's games from 10 to 10 p.m., 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. How does that affect y'all going to church? Because like you said, you were heavily involved in church. I know how football goes during the day, and normally, you got your favorite team, but you still want to watch all the games. How did that go?
Oh, church was always priority, and it's still funny though, because even in church, the pastor would always make jokes like, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long today because I know the game is on right now. You know what I'm saying? And most times, like, that would still be cool because that was my time to socialize and still be around friends, still be around family, you know what I'm saying, without necessarily having to sit there and watch the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, who's performing at the halftime show? That's what I want to see. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you said you felt isolated. You said when you became a preteen, you felt isolated. Was that with did music help you not feel isolated? Did it feel like, you know, your personality can stand out? How did you feel isolated?
So I just felt isolated in not having something in common with the rest of my family. Like, yeah, I'll support y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I know this is a family, you know what I'm saying, that we support and we love and we do all the things, but like, is this something I want to do? Hell no. You know what I'm saying? So like, isolated, moreover, became a choice, you know what I'm saying, because I just didn't want to be around it. So in finding music, like, that was just my own personal safe haven. That was somewhere where I could like be in my room and I'm working on music, or I'm writing songs, or I'm writing poetry, I'm writing, you know, like I used to write stories, child. I remember writing a play that is never going to come out.
Is this because you had to, you know, the family had to be together because the sports team was playing?
Yeah.
Now,
so that was just my thing, you know what I mean? Like,
for me, a lot has been gone. Like, I have a lot of different questions. I mean, spanning from the fact of you saying that you're an introvert and just listening to you now, do you feel like that's changed? Do you still consider yourself an introvert?
Very much so. But I think the terminology now is an ambivert. Like, it's a little bit of both. So, but based on my environment. So, like, if I'm in a social setting, I can turn it on. But I only have so much that I can hold on. You know, the on button, because once she's depleted, I'm done. Like,
when you're not scratching people's face or shooting Creed 3, right? Is that...
You know, if I'm scratching people's face, that means I shouldn't be there in the first place, because that's not people I want to be around. If I'm shooting Creed 3, then I'm definitely not gonna be in there because the bad guys.
Now, did you notice that did you notice that there can be a little bit of both as a preteen, or you just noticed that it was tunnel vision, just introverted as a preteen only?
I don't think I realized it as a preteen. I think it was tunnel vision. I definitely think it was just like, let me stay to myself. Definitely the shy type. Like, unless I'm doing something creative, that's when I'm able to flourish and like open up and, you know, do the things, because this is something that I feel most comfortable in, and, you know, most comfortable in my skin.
You said that you were being creative, and I also am a creative entertainer, and I think that when we deal with people that are entertainers like yourself and I don't know much about Petra, so I don't want to include Petra if she is. I know that she does entertainment, but those kinds of individuals, whether it's the two of us or three of us, I feel like we have that passion, but then we also are creative in other aspects. So was it always music, or did you also like look to spew your creative mind in different aspects? And if so, what caused you to kind of still bounce back to music?
I definitely bounce between like different crafts. As far as like from music to writing, I had a few instances, again, like in church, where we were doing church rallies, and that consisted of creating dance routines and choreography and doing that stuff over the summer, which again was some of my favorite pastimes, because it was just me doing creative shit, you know what I mean? And moving my body and being around people that I like and feeling like I know what the fuck I'm doing, I know what the fuck I'm talking about, and people looking for me because I have that knowledge and expertise.
And what made you bounce back then to music? Like, you didn't have a significant passion, things didn't go well? What caused you to bounce back still to music?
I don't think I took it seriously enough, and at that time, and I don't think I allowed myself to really explore the full potential of what that would look like for myself, because my family was always working, or we were always making ends meet, or we were always paying the bills, or I was always, again, taking care of my family, as we talked about in the first episode. So I personally didn't feel like there was room for me to be like, hey, yo, mom, hey, yo, dad, like, I'm thinking about taking dance classes, you know what I mean? Like,
the extra.
Yeah, or doing extra things. So I would find like little extracurricular activities if it wasn't in church. Like I didn't. Well, they started a drill team, a drill and step team, my senior year of high school. So that was kind of like the seed outside of me being in church that got me like interested in a form of dance. But I definitely like doing drill and step and seeing Stomp the Yard and what's the movie, fucking Drumline and all that shit. Like I was obsessed with HBCUs. Like I always wanted to go to one. Don't shade me because I have not had the experience, but if I had my choice back in the day, I wanted to go to Clark Atlanta University. Like they had a good musical theater program and it was HBCU and that's where I wanted to go. You know what I mean?
I was about to do the HBCU chant, but I don't know what it is. What is like?
And I don't want to get shaded or pulled or snatched or anything like that. But just know, it's respect.
Girls don't play about that HBCU. Yeah.
And I don't think I might be able to say it if I didn't go there, but so I'm not trying to get jumped or anything.
Exactly.
Would you going in from preteen to actual teen, so that's like, you know, maybe 14, 15, 14, 15, 16,
today's low mortgage rates,
did you realize that music is something you would, it was the career that you wanted, like it was the career? No.
It was just because I took her.
So you like him a little older.
Yeah, I'm an old soul, so I
Like him a little, so they robbing the cradle. That's what the old folks say. Robbing the cradle.
Yeah.
Got him on
Where
the
am I
back.
What a disability.
Sophomore is like 15, turning 16. A senior is like 17, turning 18. That's the age gap.
Look at Nancy Drew out here calling your ass the fuck out, ain't she?
Come on.
You know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna lie, like it was what it was.
So did you take senior? I was about to call her adult. Excuse excuse me. Did you take the senior to prom?
I did not take the senior prom. I did take her to homecoming.
Oh, okay.
I'm just looking at some things, and I hate to kind of backtrack on this. I don't know if we talked about it. You keep talking about church. Two-part question. Number one, did we talk about what religion you fall under?
I think we grazed it. I don't think we talked about it. So my background is Pentecostal, Apostolic Pentecostal. My former organization that I identify under was the Pentecostal Assemblies of the World, or PAW. So that is that. Second part of the question.
So I'm basically asking that question because I'm connecting that to personality as we're moving forward, and I'm looking at behavior. Now, there's different levels of those that go to church and how godly they are. I've heard you say goddamn, fuck, and shit like it's no other today.
Talk about
it in this episode. So, like, what level do you fall under? Is that something that the church like would be mad at? Is that are they, you know? You said that they let you out early, and for a black church, I mean, I'm already in disbelief on that.
That normally don't happen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen at all, especially if it's during council week, because that's things happening every single day. That's different ministries, that's different sessions, that's different workshops, that's you know, a whole bunch of things happening throughout the span of the week. But as far as my profanity,
I'm just looking at the level of like churchgoers, because some people, they're like so about, you know, following, and I don't know what the rules of that religion like abide by, but I'm just like, well,
they're fire and brimstone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very to the book. It's very skirt below your knees. It's very like, yeah, cut and dry, black and white. You know what I'm saying? At least for the time in my experience that I have been in church. I left my home church, I think like 2012, 2013. So by this point, I was already starting college.
I was gonna ask you how old you were.
She is doing math like a motherfucker in this. Okay, let me just say that. But you say your church was like that. Does that mean that your preacher was like, open up your goddamn books to page 200?
Oh no, he wasn't like that.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying. You know, you see, I'm going to hell. You see, I'm going to hell. So
you tried it. You tried it right there. No, but me being raised in the church, like I would never cuss. You know what I mean?
Were your parents those churchgoers where if they like heard you?
They heard me. Oh, what'd you say?
So they was black parents for real. Okay, all right.
Yeah. So yeah, it was very like Bible thumpers. It was we're dedicated. On Mondays we go to prayer. On Tuesdays we go to rehearsal. On Wednesdays it's Bible study. On Thursdays it's praise team. On Friday, like it's something every day of the week. And my mother to this day, she's very dedicated in her service. She's also a minister, so like she still goes to councils and serves.
You just told me she's a minister after I done said goddamn a whole bunch of. Well, you done said it too.
Yeah, I done said all the other things. So you all right?
Did you go to church for faith, or did you go to church for music, or was it a collaboration of both? I mean, you talk about how you love to sing and the praise team and this and that, but then also to go there for the faith of God and everything. So what was your main focus when you went, and did that stay consistent throughout?
It was definitely a point of faith for a time. The music was just a part of what I considered to be the service. You know what I mean? Like, I know that the gift that I have is just that, a gift. My gift is given from God as far as like what they call the anointing. You know what I mean? Like the bestowing on of like, you know, the gifts that God
long time coming.
It's given me with my singing, with my music, being able to utilize that in the church was just like the cherry on top outside of me going to church. So that was it was a no-brainer. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm going to church because this is what I know. This is what I know to do. This is what the structure is. You know what I'm saying? But after a time, I got tired of the structure. I got tired of the format. I got tired of,
This before you turned like 18, 19, just like in high school, that you started to get tired?
No, this was after I graduated high school.
After you graduated high school. Now, when you, as Mike was saying, you know, your family obviously was strict on religion and y'all faith. Were you that same way outside of school? I mean, outside of church. Meaning, I know you said you had your two friends from church. But when you weren't in front of them at school, what were you? Did you act the same way at school that you did at church?
It was code switching. It's very transparent.
Okay.
Code switch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew that when I was around church people, oh yes, like I can believe it. Like, oh praise the Lord. Oh my God, yeah. Like woo, 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 woo. Church lingo, church slang. But like, if I'm around my choir friends, or like if I'm around my theater friends, or if I'm around, you know, a certain group of like misfits where not everybody fits into a certain group, but we can all like mix and mingle, then it's like, bitch, what? Okay, you know what I mean? Like, and hey, mother.
Did you struggle? Did you struggle to?
It's no shame, but that's just what it was given.
So did you struggle? Were you ever scared to like the way you were taught, literally from a young child with your faith and your religion, and the way your family is with going to church and everything? Were you scared to be like that, all like at school, or when you wasn't at church, when you wasn't in front or around your friends? Were you scared to be that same way? Did you feel like you had to consume to, you know, cursing or quote unquote, I guess, godly activity? And I'll use quotes because everybody's idea of that is different. So,
no, I don't think I was scared to be, I'll say religious in front of my friends, because everybody knew that as much as I had the occasional like Miranda Cosgrove moment, like I cuss too, like you know what I'm saying, like, oh, what's your favorite word? Fuck. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I had those moments, people knew that I went to church too, because I was always like professing and always confessing and like, oh my God, like God did this and God did that and woo 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 woo. So like, I think looking at it now, some people would be like, "Oh, James, you a hypocrite, bro. Like, you was definitely."
I'm gonna say that anybody ever, either from the church or from like the people at school who didn't go to church, did anybody call you on your stuff like, James, you just said God, you know, did this, but you said your favorite cuss word 2 seconds ago? Like, did anybody ever? Really? Okay.
Were they like that too? Where they were like God?
I kept it very clean cut.
Were they God, like the other people that were in the church? Were they like that outside of church too? To where it was like those two kind of different personas depending on who they were around.
Go switch it.
There were a few. There were a few.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we are in high school. We copping seniors and taking them to homecoming.
Gang.
We're code switching. Okay.
My one and only girlfriend in high school.
Saying our favorite curse word, and you know, we're doing the things now. We're junior now. Did you stay with? How long did you stay with Miss Ma'am?
That was literally for probably that year, because she ended up
going off to college.
Obviously graduating, and then she decided to move to Georgia. And I remember
she had a family.
Summer.
She was an adult.
She had a family.
She was an adult. So an adult with an adult.
She didn't have. What do you mean by she had a family, Mike?
You said she moved there. Usually,
I feel like people.
I mean, Mike, listen. She became an adult. She was a senior.
She didn't become an adult. She was already an adult as a senior. You know, we fucking with him.
Anyway, okay, so
she graduated. She moved. The summer after she moved, because I was really feeling her. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, you the first girl that like I really liked. She was my favorite. She was my first kiss. She was all the things, right?
Was
we
she
never had sex.
more than your first kiss?
We never had sex.
Mike, you took the words out of my mouth. She was what? She was more than your first?
We never had sex.
Oh, okay.
You know, sometimes sex is really like classified as more than, so like it doesn't have to be like
Never gave
sex,
me
but
head. I never ate her out.
oh damn, we getting into details. Hold on, this guy juicy as
Okay.
more
None of that.
That went up real quick. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Because-
Our ratings should shoot
because you're
up
asking.
after this.
So, did you have any other relationships, as in more than platonic, in high school since your adult girlfriend? I mean,
No.
Okay. Okay. So, we got our junior year, and then we got our senior year, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. So now our seniors here. You joined the step team, correct? Okay.
Correct.
That was live and in charge.
Right.
Now, and with anything that was creative, music, songwriting, playwriting, theater, drill team, was your family ever supportive to you to come and watch you like you had to be supportive to them when they did, when they watched sports and had sport events?
They didn't come to
so
see you?
They didn't come see you.
How did that make you feel?
It was hard, but eventually I just got used to it.
Was it because of work or something, or just no
For
time?
the other kids not being, they having events.
It was because of church.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
Well,
nothing
The
could
Lord
come
comes
before church.
first.
Nothing could come before church. Now let me ask you something. You said your brothers were athletes, correct? From a young age. You said Pop Warner.
Yep.
Now, if they had a game or something, a practice, would your parents go and support them? Even if it was church, too?
And the gag is that like majority of the church was involved in sports, so it kind of like justified it because all of the church is there.
Do you think that if you
Gotcha.
would have played sports, that would have been different to where they would have come out there? That it was like a sporting thing more so than the church thing?
I don't know. I really don't care.
Do you think it was a you thing, and just because it was you?
I do not. I
Support.
think
Okay.
it was. I think it was just something that was more. I mean, I really don't have a reason. I never asked. I think that's a great question or a great discussion or a point of discussion that I would like to have with them at some point. But at the same token, not really, because
Well, that's why I asked how it made you feel, to kind of delve deeper, because there's a lot of people that don't have any parents in their life, and they go through life without any parents. You had the parents, but they weren't there. But the reason is for church, which is like I said, God comes first. So that's why I asked like how that made you feel in those earlier years.
yeah, it made me feel not supported. You know what I mean? Like, it was very tough to always go to a show and know that there was no one in the audience sitting there like supporting you or cheering you on. You know what I'm saying? Like, going and doing musicals and doing step and drill shows at halftimes at the basketball game, or crossing into my Christian service fraternity, and my parents live literally down the street and around the corner, and they didn't come. Like,
Was this something you did in high school or college?
college.
College.
So just curious, when you finally made it to the same point that Gretchen did, or Gertrude, as an adult in your senior year, did they come to your graduation?
Graduation?
Yeah, of course, because I was student body president, like, or student council president. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had all the accolades. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving the closing speech for the ceremony. Like, it's my fucking graduation, so of course they're gonna be there. But all the other shit, like, no, they wasn't there.
I grin on the inside every time I hear you say fuck. I just want you to know that.
I'm glad you're getting your life right.
So you graduated from high school. At
I
this
graduated from high
time, have you kept in touch with? No. You said that old girl moved on. She moved on to Atlanta or Georgia. So you don't, because you said you was really feeling her. So when you got from high school, you hadn't had no other relationship, as in more than platonic, with anybody. Okay. So now we graduated from high school. What is the plan at that point?
So we graduated from high school. One of my friends from church. She is dating this other person that she went to high school with, and and obviously all of us go to church together. But he was moving out of his parents' house and moving into an apartment. He was looking for a roommate. I moved in with him. That was my first apartment and moving out of the house at 18.
At what age? At 18. How long after you graduated from high school?
Not even a couple of months. That was my first. I had moved out into my own place, and he had got me my first job. So I was out.
What did your family say?
They were supportive of it because I was with somebody that was still in church.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was like, oh, you're not necessarily moving in with somebody that we don't know or somebody that's of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to necessarily worry about you or keep eyes on you or worry about what you may or may not be doing. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, he's going to be bringing you to Bible study. He's going to be bringing you to praise sing. He's going to be bringing you to service. You know what I'm saying?
Like a big brother.
Yeah.
So coming out of high school, what were some of the things that you continued to do within that field of singing, or that you explored within the field of singing?
I didn't do too much singing. Well, I did like one music vocal class in college. I took a music production and engineering class that I dropped out of because that bitch was just annoying and I could not figure her out. And I wish I would have stuck to it because eventually, in November of 2020, I started producing my own music anyway, so I had to relearn all that shit anyway. But, you know, I tried to educate myself and give myself the knowledge of what it was that I wanted to do anyway. But that was when I started dancing heavily, is when I started college. And that was when it became like, oh my God, I love dancing as much as I love music, and I can do these things together.
Okay. Now, I have one last question, and we'll wrap this thing up. Now that you're 18, you're out of your parents' house, you got your own, or you're having a roommate, you got your own place, you got a job, you're dancing, right? We're in college, we doing some things. What was your relationship with religion and going to church?
I still went as regular. You know what I'm saying? The structure was still there. The format was still there. Nothing really changed except now I'm just going home to my own place and I'm going to work.
Okay.
Still very included in church. Still very, you know.
Choir practice, worship practice. You're still doing all that.
Still very much attending. Yeah.
You know,
Gotcha.
as we're wrapping this up, you know, there's a story of we've had many seasons, and it usually always ends the same way, where I tell everybody, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, hit that bell, do all that jazz, yada, 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 and we'll see you guys next week. However, we're going to end it a little bit differently this time, because you think I forgot, but I ain't forget. So, you already know Michael B. Jordan. You already know.
Michael B. Jordan with the vocals, though.
I say you send us off with a little Toonie Tune.
Tell me, what do you do when you've done all you can and feels like it's never enough?
Woo.
And what do you say when your friends turn away and you're all alone? Tell me, what do you give when you've given your all and seems like it's never enough? Well, you just stand when there's nothing left to do. You just stand. Watch the Lord see you through. Yes, after you've done all you can, you just stand.
If Simon Cowell don't come scoop your ass the fuck up, that's all the fuck I need.
Right now.
Golden Ticket, you going to Hollywood?
Hard to hear, baby.
Oh, that's right.
Hit the golden buzzer. Hit it. Go on and hit it. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. We got one more episode left where we're gonna wrap up where you are now inside of life. How after the college years, after the adult that went off to her family in another state. We're gonna continue this. So I look forward to it next week. Thank you, Petra, for joining me inside of interviewing James. James, thanks for being here. Thank you, everybody else, for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.